The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Shaun, you noticed something significant.
Like all of us, one of the first things you do when you're just kicking back on a couch or before you go to bed, you're just checking Instagram, just having a bit of a scroll through.
Yeah, of course you do.
I was tagged in on a photo yesterday for our good friend Leno that's over working for over in Sydney.
Yeah, we used to work together here and now he works in Sydney because he's a big deal.
And I just thought I'd better click on that, Ross, and just check out what the picture was. And it was myself, you, Ross, and our boss, Dave McClung.
Yes, and what are we wearing in this photo shoot?
Absolutely very little, Ross. We've got our shirts off. We're on the back of a boat in Rottnest.
Yeah, so he's got 3 shirtless photos of us, and I don't want to be next to Shaun McManus when we're shirtless.
To be fair, this is from December.
It was a team day, because this is a quote, summer dump.
Okay. It's literally from months ago. Okay, keep going.
But the one thing that was there to lure everybody in, Natalie, as you can see, is the first photo that was put up by our boss. How would you describe that?
Absolute thirst trap. So he's taken a picture of himself, shirt off, and he's got boardies on, I think. He's pushed them down a little bit so you can see the V, because he's been working out and he's never been fitter.
He's fit.
And he's taken a picture of himself in the mirror, and that is the first photo in the carousel. And then as you start to flick through, you guys are number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you feel about being in Dave's thirst trap post?
Well, I would have thought he would have tagged us in at some stage, first of all.
Yeah,
surely me and Ross could make the front page.
There's some of the comments were strong opening pick. And I don't really think I can read the rest of it.
Well, let's ask him about his intentions. Dave McClung, good morning.
I knew as soon as I got a message from Amy that this is why you were calling.
You know why? Because you knew what you've done, right? Am I right?
Look, I look great.
And David, the fact that you are posting this absolute thirst trap just before a long weekend, is that a coincidence or what's going on?
No, absolutely not, Natalie.
Well, I've got to say, Dave, since Ross and I were in the photo with you, our Grindr accounts are going absolutely ballistic.
Many hits.
They're too nervous to go to Hyde Park at this point. David, what's the response been like to this post, Dave?
No, it's been pretty good.
Did you do any photoshopping, Dave? Be honest. Did you change any?
His arms looking good.
No.
I mean,
None
that's
at
a
all.
flex, though. That's a flex on your right arm behind the back to get the biceps popping, and that delt.
Oh, you would know.
Oh.
Okay. You know what? The funny thing is, Ross is dead right.
Yeah, how many push-ups did you do before this photo exactly?
Zips.
Well, we appreciate you putting us in as part of the thirst trap there.
Yeah.
Ross, how do you feel about it? You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm all right. I feel like I'm included for once, which is just nice.
You're just happy to be involved. Not many pictures of the girls that you work with, David.
Yeah, they didn't get included. I actually don't know why.
You do work with a lot of women, you know, but it's weird that none of them made the cut.
Do you know the thing is, I was trying to pad it out so it didn't just look like one photo of a blatant thirst trap. That's what I was trying to do.
I mean, I like the fact that you put in a picture of your elderly dog. That's cute. Some fireworks. And then just a heap of topless men.
Which is Shaun and I.
That's how you get them, Nat. That's how you get them. But you know what? A lot of people have caught up in a situation where they find themselves in a...
When you're tagged into somebody else's photo, not that he tagged you in, but you appear on someone else's feed, and it's like, hang on a second, I didn't approve that picture.
No, but a lot of people get caught out where someone puts them in a bad photo.
Yes, that's right, because they look good.
Yes.
So they put up the picture regardless of how the other people in the photo look. Oh, that can be vicious. But our digital content guy, Sam, you've got some issue?
Yes, Dave, if you're listening.
Oh, hang on.
It sounds like... Sorry, it sounds like...
Yes, Dave, if you're listening.
That's better.
I was actually in a lot of those shirtless photos on that boat that day, and I didn't make one of those photos on the summer dump.
So you're offended you didn't make your...
Absolutely. What's wrong with me? Hello? I'm an absolute athletic weapon.
Not according to Dave.
You haven't made the cut. All right, we are talking about when somebody else has put up a photo of you without your consent.
Yes.
Shannon, good morning.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Morning,
Great,
Shannon.
Shan. Okay, what happened?
Nothing too exciting. My mum loves to put up photos of me on my birthday of when I was little.
Yes.
And it can be a little bit embarrassing. So that's about it. But
I mean,
nothing naked.
Yeah.
But pretty silly, yeah. And my sister and I have a pact. If it looks stupid, we will not put it up online. We'll show each other and just go, no, don't put it online. It looks stupid.
Pact.
Any extra silly ones on there?
Yeah, there is. And you look so adorable when you're little. So, thanks,
Yeah, you
Mum.
can get
Thanks
away
for
with those
doing
silly
that.
ones.
But the thing is, that photo then, like, every year it comes back.
Yes.
Everybody sees it because
Every time.
you were
Thanks a
tagged
lot,
in
Mum.
it. Yeah, you're basically
look
haunted by
adorable.
that for the rest of humanity.
Yes. But I don't have any nudies out there with my boobs out or anything like that.
I mean, you say that,
Not yet.
that, Shannon, but are we sure?
Yeah. I don't know. Don't look on my page, please don't. Or TikTok.
Good on you, Shannon. Thank you. Steph's in Woodvale. Hello.
Hi.
Morning,
Okay,
Steph.
Steph, did somebody use your photo, put a picture up of you on their feed, and now it's there forever?
Yeah, so it was one of my best friends, and I was a bridesmaid for her wedding, and it was the engagement party. She decided to only upload like 5 photos to start with, and there was this beautiful photo of all of us bridesmaids in the middle of the speeches, very candid, everyone's laughing and beautiful, and then there was me mid-sneeze, ugly face, completely ridiculous, and she went with it.
That's hard to capture.
But do you know why, Steph? Because everybody else looked great.
Yeah.
So you're just
everyone
collateral
else
damage.
looked phenomenal, and it was kind of the theme of the night, I think. Yeah.
Steph,
I love that,
did you
Steph.
say anything to her?
I did send her a little message, and I was like, hey, why this photo? And she said, it was the only one where the majority people looked nice.
Wow. Okay, Steph, I'm just going to ask this. You can answer this however you like, but I'm just going to ask this delicate question. Objectively, were you, like, much hotter than the rest of them, and she was trying to bring you back to everyone else's level? Is that what was going on?
No, definitely not.
I think you're just being
Definitely
modest.
not. I was the token person that just, I can look ridiculous, that's fine.
Okay, great. All right, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We do have a busy woman in our midst. She's trying to get elected. Well, I mean, she'll be elected, but she wants to be the premier. Libby Mettam, welcome to the show.
It's fantastic to be.
It's the first time we've had you on our show, to be honest.
It is. It's a first, but there's a few days left until the election, so, you know, I'm happy to come back.
Is it weird that, because pre-poll voting opened on Monday, is it weird that, like, you're, you know, obviously hitting the hustings and going around campaigning hard. You've just got over a week to go until the final election date. But is it weird that lots of people go, oh, we've already voted, don't worry, don't bother?
It is a bit... It is unsettling in that respect. This point in time, early voting is really about rehashing.
And you don't even need an excuse anymore to do an early vote.
No, you don't.
Anybody, you used to have to make up an excuse and say, no, I'm working.
I'm out of town.
I know. and come election day, I imagine a lot of people would have already
done it.
Yeah.
So does that alter the way that you campaign?
Well, it means that there's a lot more focus on early voting.
Yes.
It does mean that you're not making election commitments now. It's more about restating what has already been announced. So today we'll be talking about what we're offering seniors. Much of that package has already gone out.
Yeah.
So it is just about consolidating the message and just keeping the energy up, really.
Hey, Libby, we've been able to see you following the news. Broadcasting you've been in Kalgoorlie and Geraldton, which I didn't know originally that you spent all your childhood there, and you went to Whopper as well.
I did broadcasting there. Not that you'd know this morning, but...
Excuse me, are you trying to steal our jobs?
Well, I might be giving you a call on the 9th of March. You never know, but I'm certainly focused on being the Premier of WA. I think I can make a real difference, but... I do have a lot of respect for the work that you do and what it does offer, I guess, as a Member of Parliament, is you get a broad range of understanding about, you know, what makes people tick and, what people care about.
Yeah, for sure. Now...
so maybe I should be roping you in.
Oh, no, I am not the right person to work in politics. Libby, the Liberal Party, let's be honest, the last election was... You were decimated, and as a party, not you personally, but as a party, it was like catastrophic.
Yes.
How do you come back from something like that to 4 years later trying to turn it around to the point where you're like, I legit think that I could be the Premier because you think that you can get a majority?
Well, it's nothing fancy. It's just a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And it's involved a lot of people amongst the membership, but also the broader community as well. Because despite what side of politics you're on, people want to see more balance. But I think as well, what we have done is we've really focused on the issues that matter to people. So it's not the fancy stuff, not the bread and circuses, as I'd say. No racetracks on the Swan. We're not paying hundreds of millions of dollars for an NRL team. Sorry about that. We're committed to fixing hospitals, more police on the beat, police in schools, even police dogs in our regions as well, and cost of living pressures. So nothing fancy. It's just what ordinary Western Australians want.
Libby, the hospital system's been an interesting one for a long time. It's probably been a decade. So before COVID happened, ramping was, through the roof. Things weren't going too well. We had COVID. People were saying that we're understaffed, obviously. It was an easy way to deflect the hospital system. But I was recently up there and spent too long there, I think, and a lot of people are waiting.
In the emergency room you're talking about,
Is there an easy fix? Or is it just that we don't have the manpower to be able to make things happen?
It does require a multifaceted approach. For long-stay patients, for example, which is one area where we can really have an impact, we've committed 500 transitional beds. That's for long-stay patients, largely seniors or those with a disability that need to get into the right kind of care, so a step down. If we provide 500 transitional beds, it's a $275 million commitment, we will unlock 14,000 bed stays. So we're committed to that. In addition to a range of other things, the most attractive incentives for nurses to study and work in our hospitals here. We're also committed to investing in our GPs and a range of other measures. Chemo in the home for public patients. That's not only provides dignity to those patients, but that frees up hospital beds. It's a win-win. So we've got a broad package. It's about building capacity in our hospitals, implementing reforms with our elective surgery guarantee as well, and investing in our own local workforce so we're not overly reliant on overseas workers.
But can you ensure that Shaun won't have to wait?
My commitment to Shaun McManus at this election is no longer will he ever have to wait in hospital.
Because he hates waiting. Actually, waiting anywhere, if you could organise that. He hates waiting the most.
Well, that's the value of the drive-through, isn't it? And big shout-out to Thirsty Camel.
Yes.
But when I've had overseas visitors come here, you're from Germany, and they are blown away that we're so keen to get that drink that we have to. We've shortened the process. So what other product does that happen?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? That in Germany, where you would think it would make sense to stay in your car because it's cold. So, but they don't. They haven't thought of the drive-through yet.
No.
Oh.
It used to blow me away when I've mentioned this a few times. When we used to play in Adelaide, we'd drive to Footy Park, and there used to be a drive-through smoke mart, and we always used to
the one.
That is a problem.
That desperate for a fact that you've got to go through a drive-through smoke mart. Anyway, I'm glad they don't have too many hairs. That's the main thing at all.
Now, Libby, people don't know that much about you as a person, I think. We've seen you as a political leader. Now, you are a Dunsborough local.
I'm a Dunsborough local.
So that means that you're spending a lot of time driving up and down that Forest Highway, aren't you?
Yes.
So you have a base in Perth and also a base in Dunsborough?
Yes. Yeah. Yep, that's right.
And what I just found out is that you're also, I find this staggering because you look so young, you're a grandmother.
I am. I've got a 7-month-old granddaughter, Remy.
Wow.
I'm ageing dramatically, don't worry about that. It's a wonderful thing. I get little photos and videos of Remy every morning.
Oh, that's lovely.
She's interstate with her mum and dad.
Yes, not just on her own.
But yesterday's video, she had a shower cap on.
Oh, cute.
So, yeah.
I mean, adorable. Who doesn't love a baby in a shower cap? That's just amazing.
Libby, what did you get in a position to keep going towards being Premier? I know down south, right? You're so popular amongst the people that I know down there. So that's great, and you represent the region so well.
And your husband's a winemaker, so who doesn't love that?
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
But then making the next step and then keep going forward. I think you came to prominence really when you started looking into the FIFO workers and the and the report you did on the women working in that industry. That was it's a really major step. And did you just sense, no, I can make a real difference here going forward?
Well, it's taken baby steps really and a lot of hard work. But what the job does show, as your job does when you put an underline or when you highlight something, is you can make a real difference for ordinary people, and that's really powerful. And the FIFO example is a good one, because most of the changes that we made started very early on when we put the spotlight on the issue. But then we made 24 different recommendations to industry and government, and workplaces have changed as a result, which has led to powerful change. It had the international attention as well. But that just came through looking at the evidence, putting a committee together, and while the outcome was really fantastic, if you break it down, compartmentalise it, it's something that anyone could do if they're committed to it.
What made you make the jump into politics in the first place? What was your stepping point? Were you like president of the PNC or something?
Well, this could be you, because I was in media.
I don't think it could.
I was in media, and what I found was you're often highlighting issues but not resolving them. So, Shaun, for example,
waiting at the hospital.
He's waiting at the hospital too long. So your next step, Nat, is then to get involved in the policy of, well, how can we help my colleague out? And then...
No, he can fend for himself.
Yeah, he can fend for himself. And I did a Masters in Public Policy.
Yeah, right.
I was actually planning to be a policy advisor, and then I had the opportunity to run for Parliament. It came from some local advocacy I was already involved in.
And look
it
at
all
you now.
happened by mistake in a way.
All right, well, happy campaigning. We're just over a week away from getting the result, essentially, even though people are now casting their votes today and next week as well.
Yeah.
I know that campaigning is a brutal exercise. You're very busy. You know, Sabrina Carpenter said it well when she said busy woman, because that's what you are. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here in our Thirsty Camel drive-through, which is a completely normal place to do a political interview.
Of course it is.
Libby, Mettam, thank you.
And thanks for having me on as well.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It is down to the last two cars battling it out for $10,000 in our 10K drive-through. It is now sudden death.
Yep.
If you get the question wrong, your opponent automatically wins, because they will be the last car standing. That's what it's all about.
Just a reminder, the last two in it, we got the Renegades. Renee, she brought her two friends' husbands, not her own. They got Clayton and Wayne in there. And then we got Champagne Supernovas, which is Cassandra and her family, who have been asking for a drink in the bottle shop.
And we've said no thus far. All right. Well, it is Renee's turn to answer a question. Shaun?
Renee.
And you, of course, will have 10 seconds to confer with your teammates.
Here is your question to remain in the competition. What does the Latin phrase carpe diem mean?
Latin phrase carpe diem. They're chatting amongst themselves.
Seize the day.
Oh, that's my cat.
Renee remains alive.
All right, Cassandra, how bad did you want her to get that wrong?
Pretty bad, I'm sorry.
She had everything crossed.
$10,000.
Okay.
I get it. All right.
Cassandra, this is for you to remain in the competition.
Here we go. What year did humans first land on the moon?
10 seconds has commenced. They're chatting amongst themselves.
1969.
Correct!
Of course, it's correct.
They're clapping themselves.
Clapping
themselves, as they should.
They're still in. Renee spewing. She has to answer another question now.
Renee.
I love how much everybody is just hoping upon hope that their opponent stuffs up at this point. Okay, Renee, to stay in.
Incidentally, have you worked out how to split the money, Renee?
Yep.
No, we haven't discussed it.
Wow.
I'll give him a couple of bucks. They worked hard today.
But what's going to happen is that on the way home, Renee's just going to open their doors and go around corners really fast and drive home with all the cash.
Okay.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. You've got to get this right to stay in, Renee.
Here is your question. What is the rarest blood type in the world?
Your 10 seconds has commenced. You can confer amongst yourselves.
Rarest blood type in the world.
And your 10 seconds has finished. What is your answer, Renee? We need an answer quickly, Renee. Quickly.
Come on, go with that. O negative?
Yeah.
That is a negative, Ghost Rider.
Cassandra! Oh my God, Cassandra won! The answer was AB negative, by the way. Cassandra, just like that, you've scored $10,000.
How you feeling? She's screaming.
No, Renee. I'm so sorry, Renee.
No, don't worry about apologising. You won 10 grand.
The silver medal last year.
Yes, she's come
going on. She's
I'm just walking away from you, Renee. Sorry about that. You didn't win.
All right, so we've got Cassandra, Brent, Miley and Bailey. Like you're telling me earlier, $10,000 you're going to do what with, which you now have?
Well, we're going to fix up the new house we just bought. It needs renovating and I'll take them out somewhere nice, I suppose.
You said Gracie Abram tickets for Miley, who answered most of them.
And Central C for Bailey, the concert tickets, yep. And maybe a little bit more.
Who did the hardest work in the car?
Miley.
Miley.
Oh, Miley, nailed it.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Cassandra, can I ask you, do you remember the question that brought you undone last year? I just want to hear that again.
About that question, the Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah.
I got it right this time.
So the question, what did you say instead of the Heimlich manoeuvre?
Tiny liquor, I think.
It's technically incorrect.
So what you're saying, Cassandra, is that Renee is going to be haunted by the blood type AB negative for the rest of eternity.
Hope, Renee, I'm back.
Come back. You got to work your way through. Silver medal for the podium finish.
I've always wanted to say this, but just drive away, Renee, because because Cassandra is our 10K drive-through winner.
Thank you.
Well done.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.